Hi, long time no see. I'm Selena. Welcome back to my channel. So, after 8 long years, I am back. If you are new here, all the videos that were prior to this one, privated. You will never see them. They will never see the light of day again. If you are back here, oh my gosh, girl, hey, it's been such a long time. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for even showing back up here when you saw that notification. It's been a long time away, so I'm just going to hop right in. I'm just going to catch you up to where we are now, what we're doing back here, and what the future looks like for us. I'm going to run through the past few years relatively quickly. I made my last upload like a month before I started aesthetic school. Since I started editing this, I realized that I actually started aesthetic school in 2018 and I did my last upload in 2016. So those 2 years are just a mystery to this story. I studied aesthetics for a year at a community college. I graduated, got licensed, and immediately got a job at a med spa that was at the time the most well-known one in Savannah. I worked my way into a wealth of knowledge about skin and waxing. David and I were living together and dating throughout those years. We got married in 2019. I was relatively comfortable where I was, but then everything came to a halt in 2020. COVID happens and it sits us all down for a few months. If I'm being honest, it was a pretty scary time. David got sick and he was sick for a little bit, and my mom got sick enough that she actually needed to be hospitalized, but she's okay. I thank God that she pulled through. It was rough, but not all bad. I always hate to say that it was like a peaceful time for me, because again, my mom had gotten sick and it was a rough time for the whole world. But I think that there was a lot of rest to be had in that period that a lot of us had not seen before. And I was in Savannah, so Georgia was the first state that had closed that opened back up. And my boss called me. I was still at this med spa. My boss called me and she was like, "Hey, we're going to open back up. We're ready to, go ahead and open the schedule back up, yada, yada, yada." And I just, I knew I couldn't go back to that. I just didn't want to go back to that. I'd had a taste of the good life, baby. I had had a taste of freedom. I'd had a taste of free time as an adult for the first time ever. And I really enjoyed that. And I wanted to make my own schedule. So I went to work for myself. I opened a studio offering aesthetic services, facials, waxing, brow services. It was a good time in my life. I learned the legal and bureaucratic side of opening and operating a small business. I learned how to market myself. David actually bought me a billboard during this time. I got back into social media. I was on TikTok. I started TikTok for my business and grew that TikTok to 10,000 followers. I grew my real life clientele and I was doing pretty well for myself, if I do say so myself. But then David took me on a birthday trip that changed everything. In 2021, I'm turning 33. David takes us on a trip to Miami. He plans a phenomenal birthday trip, okay? He's not normally a trip planning guy, but he booked us a luxury hotel, which was amazing. Could not recommend the East Hotel higher. We jet skied. He chartered a boat for us. I was having a time, okay? And then we were in the car, and offhandedly he goes,
I can see myself living here. I looked at a couple of job listings just for fun.
excuse me? Two things you should know about my husband, okay? One, he doesn't really say or do things just for fun. My man is a double Virgo, okay? He's a Virgo sun and a Virgo moon. If that lets you know how serious he is, okay? When he says something, he means it. And two, I had been dying to get out of Savannah at this point, okay? I was never intending to be there that long. I went down to Savannah in 2012 for a brief reprieve. I was supposed to be down there maybe 6 months. I was staying at my deceased grandmother's house, so I was there rent free. So I was just gonna stay there for a little bit, pause for a moment, and then head on back home. But then I met a man. Things started falling into place. And then here we were almost 10 years later in Savannah still. Savannah has things to offer. But I grew up in Atlanta. I grew up in the suburbs of Atlanta, but I grew up in Atlanta. So I had a lot of things available to me at any given time. David had been against moving forever. Okay. Anytime I mentioned it, anytime I even thought to breathe it up, he had shut it down. But here we are. both in Miami for the very first time, riding down some random street, and he dropped a bomb like that. I hopped right on it. Okay, immediately was encouraging. Oh yeah, you should look at that job. You should see what's going on. Before you knew it, that was a real thing, and my man's was applying for real jobs down in Florida. I'm not going to tell you the whole story of how we ended up in Tampa instead of Miami, but I'm so grateful that we did. We knew nothing about Tampa. Tampa was not on our radar. Neither of us knew anything about Tampa. And when the company that he was working for mentioned Tampa, I was like, I mean, I don't know. We're going to go down, we're going to see. And we did. And I love it. Tampa was or is such like a good mix for both myself and my husband. Like he is again from Savannah. He likes being on the coast. He likes to fish. I love being on the water too. I need a little more city, a little more something going on in my life. August of 2022, I saw Beyonce in Tampa. If I lived in Savannah, I would have had to travel here or there, either to Atlanta or to Orlando or somewhere. Like having shows and sports and things like that. Like it's just, we love it. So we moved to Tampa. It is now 2022. And I get here and I left my business. I closed my business. And David was very like, well, you sure you don't want to close? You sure you want to close your business? And I wanted to move. That's my truth. I wanted to leave. I wanted to not be in Savannah. I wanted to be somewhere. And Tampa really just felt like a good fit. I think at this point, we know that Tampa is home, which I'm very excited for. I'm very excited to really place roots here and to continue to enjoy this place. When we first got here, I was like, I just want to take a break. I just want to take a pause. And I did. Okay. Once I decided to start job hunting, I was like, okay, what do I really want to do? Like, what do I really want out of work right now? Because I do want to go work for someone else for a little bit because I'm brand new to this city. I don't really know anyone. I know how to market myself, but to me, I just didn't want to come to a place where I knew like zero people and start from the ground up. That just was not something I really wanted to do. I also was like, if I ever own another small business or own this, an aesthetic business here, I want to learn how to manage people. But I want somebody to pay me while I'm doing that. So I went and found myself a really lovely job as a spa manager in a luxury spa. Now, that job taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about what I want. It taught me a lot about what I don't want. What it really did was kind of beat me up. Let's be honest. I'm going to just be honest. It beat me up. The job beat me up. People call it corporate burnout. That's cool. But burnout had hit me. Okay. Burnout had hit me hard at the end. And I was there. I could say a lot. I could tell a lot. And I probably will tell a lot at some point about everything I feel about how I got to the place of being burnt out. I will take responsibility for my part in things. Like there was definitely some weak boundaries on my side, but I was trying to be there for people. I was trying to be there for my team. I was trying to be the person that, I just upheld a lot of responsibility there. And it got to the point where I cried in the bathroom. Okay. I don't want to cry in the bathroom. I don't want to cry at work at all. It just was a lot. And so I quit. I quit that job in August of 2024. I'm recording this right now in January of 2025. I have not been gainfully employed since I quit that job. Not for lack of trying. I have not put a single job application in. Not at all. I literally just took a moment and I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with myself and I need a minute to figure out what I want to do because I just did not know. I felt like I was just on a like hamster wheel at the end coming out of that job. Like it was so funny because my husband was like, at first he was like, I don't get it. You're quitting the job and you don't have another job lined up. Again, I told y'all, double Virgo, the men don't do nothing without a plan. Not that way. um, but I just, but he saw, especially once I left and had been away for a little bit, like he saw I was just able to breathe. I was just able to breathe. So I've been spending months with myself figuring that out. And that sounds like a lot. But what I've been doing is just like trying to be bored. We're not bored enough. And I know that sounds maybe a little bit crazy, but as humans, like we're just not bored enough. We need to be bored more often. If my mind is so occupied with things all the time, I'm never having thoughts of my own. Does that make sense? So I just have been able to have my own thoughts for a little bit and figure out what it is that I really want to do. So here we are today, and I'm back on social media. I'm back on social media. I'm back creating content because that's what I want to do. Not just create content. Content is like one small part of how I see my life changing and the pivot that I want from my life. I want to be a creator. I want to be an artist. I love when something is just a figment of my imagination, just a blip in my brain, and I can make that into something tangible and real, whether it be a video like you're watching right now, whether it be painting, like I like to paint sometimes. I've been building, like, I just like to take my brain's ideas and make them real. And that's what I want to do. I want to be a photographer. I want to be a videographer. I want to do beauty photography so bad. I've been saying that for years. I want to do all of the things that I want to do. I want to take a swim class. I want to take a pole class. I want to do all of the things. I want to do everything. I want to be everything. And that sounds like a lot. It sounds like I'm like maybe a little bit manic and I'm like, I want to be all the things. But what I'm saying is I just don't want to limit myself. And I want to, as a true deep within my soul, curious, multi potentialite, I want to explore as much as I can. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm here back on YouTube to show my journey exploring this life anew. um, I, yes, want to create beauty content and still share with you all of the things that I know about skin and hair. But I'm traveling. I'm going to Colombia at the end of this month. I want to take you with me. It's funny because people are like, what's lifestyle? When you say lifestyle content, I just want to share my life. That's what I'm here to do. I want to share my journey in becoming a beauty photographer. I want to share my journey into opening a creative business. I want to open a photography and videography service based small business. I want to go back to entrepreneurship. I am here to share my journey and do all of those things. So I hope you're ready for the ride. If you've made it this far in the video, I thank you so much for sticking around. Leave me a purple heart in the comment. That's our like secret emoji if you made it this far. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I look forward to everything that I'm going to show and the community that we're going to build here where I show you that you can do anything. Okay, thanks. Bye.